Hey guys, G-Jet here, and it's time for part four of the aircraft evolution design series. Today, today we'll be looking at aircraft from 1955 to around 1960 till the early 60s. So, let us get started, shall we? Here's our first plane of 1955. This is a Cessna 172. It's designed, of course, by Cessna Aircraft. And look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, the more modern airplane shape that we all know and love. This was produced until today. This is one of the most recognizable little Cessnas of all time. Still produced to this day. Really good airplane. But as you can see from that little Piper plane, you're going to say, G-Boss, G-Boss, G-Boss. It looks like the Piper that we saw in the part 3. Well, that's because, once again, that's because it's based on it. It was based on it. That's why. Excuse that. But it was big. But look at the more modern design we got here, guys. We got the actual airplane shape, where the monowing. We got a powerful engine. But as you can see, we're a tricycle landing gear again. But no. We are not retractable gear. But yes, we do have flaps though. Look at that. We have flaps. This is a cute little plane, isn't it, guys? Look how cute this is. Mid-50s to the early 60s. Isn't this nice, guys? Now you're saying, G-Boss, you're skipping 3 years. Well, I'm sorry, but we have to. This is my series, you know? Everyone else goes in order. I can go with whatever order I want. But anyway, yeah, this is the Cessna 172. This is the Skyhawk. The Skyhawk. That's the name of it. Now, don't ask me how Mr. Cessna and his team got the name Skyhawk, but that's what they called it. But it's called the Skyhawk, and I love that name. I love it. I love that name, Skyhawk. It's a beautiful name. But anyway, shall we look inside the cockpit, everybody? Oh yeah, we got our standard instruments. We got our yokes. We got our modern rudder pedals. We got our radios. We got our little seats to carry people and cargo or what have you. We got our little window openers, even though these window openers are locked, so we can't open them. But we're in closed cockpit. We're no longer in the elements since 1906. Look at this. Look how much this has come, guys. Look how far we've come. Since 1906. And watch this. Look how much more powerful we are. Look how much more faster we are. Now you're saying, G-Boss, we know we're faster. Well, I just like to say that because airplanes throughout the years got faster and faster, even today. And now, is it going to jump off the runway? Probably not, because I got to help it. But let's see. Nope, it was going to go up, but I helped it a little bit. Look at that, guys. Look, we're up in the air compared to those little 1906 planes. The 14 Biz, the rigid aeroplane, the Wright Flyer 3, the Handley Page, and the Blario. Look at this. Look how much faster we've gotten. Now you're going to say, G-Boss, you're going to do a cute little barrel roll like you did in the war years and everything? Well, no. But I will be doing some barrel rolls with some other smaller airplanes. But look at this, guys. Look how much innovation we've gotten. Look how much innovation we've had since 1906. Look at this. We're bigger. We're a bigger high wing monoplane. There's high wing monoplanes, low wing monoplanes, seaplanes, jets and everything. Look at this. Early jets. And we are going to see some early transport jets here. Now you're going to say, G-Boss, What about the Korean War jet creature people? Are you going to see them too? Well, not yet. Those are going to be later. But we're going to be focusing on the. Remember, we're focusing on the little airliners now after World War II. We're focusing on the airliners and everything. So this is general aviation and airline. Like I said in the last video, we're starting to get into general aviation and airlines and everything. So yeah. But look at this Cessna Skyhawk. Look how beautiful this is. One of the most recognizable planes of its time, of today and everywhere. Look at this. Whoops. Missed the runway there. But look how much innovation we've gotten. Look how much innovation we've gotten since 1906 and everything. Look how much innovation this is, things, guys. Look at this, look at this, look at this. As I dive back to the runway with no flaps, you're like, gee, boss, don't, why are you not using the flap? You're supposed to show us the flap. Yeah, well, we try landing without the flap, but look how much innovation we got since that little Piper. We got everything right with that from that little Piper guy. We got everything right with it. We got everything right from it. Now you're saying, gee, boss, you sure we got everything right from that cute little Piper guy? Yes, we do. We do have everything right from the little Piper guy. Well, you're saying, gee, boss, oh no, you're going off the runway again. You gotta use your flap. I am. Don't worry. I'm gonna use the flap. But look how much innovation we've gotten. Look, we've got the Piper-esque look. We got a more modern airplane shape. We got the more straight jet age-esque tail and everything. So we're there. Excuse me. So we're there, guys. We're there. But you're gonna say, gee, boss, are you sure we're almost there, or are we there? Well, I'm gonna say we are there. But there's still more innovation to do, guys. There's still more innovation to do. The little Cessna here may have the little Piper that we saw in part 3, and the little Cessna here, and some of the earlier airliners of 1950 to 53 may have opened the door. But here in 55, you're going to see there's a lot more innovation. There's a lot more innovation. And coming up, our next airplane, just like our Cessna friend here, gets everything right. Gets everything right. Gets everything right. You're going to love it. Ah, yes, guys. I hope you're enjoying this series. And you're saying, gee, boss, we are. But it seems like we're seeing the same planes over and over again. Well, as I said, guys, everybody back in the den was back then, and today, you know, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But our next airplane is coming up, and it's going to be. You're going to say, gee, boss, is it an airliner? Is it a jet thingy? Well, you'll have to wait and see, guys, as I taxi the Cessna back around to the end of the runway so we can get more length. Because our next airplane is going to be a little bit bigger, so we need a lot more runway. Yep. So we're heading. Look, this is going to be great, guys. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. This is our next airplane, guys. It's going to be bigger. Now you're gonna say, oh, gee, boss, is it going to be bigger than the Cessna? You are a little bit bigger than the Cessna, yes. A little bit bigger than the Cessna, yes. Just a little bit bigger. All right, let's go get it, guys. You ready? Here we go. Let's go get it. All right, guys, hang on. I'm working on it. Hang on. You're saying, G boss, hurry. I will. All right, guys, here comes our next airplane. What do I do with that? That's nice. All right, hang on, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Now you're saying G-Boss, G-Boss. Is it going to be cool? It is going to be cool, guys. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Hang on, guys. I'm looking for it. Hang on. Hey, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Whew. All right, guys. Hang on. I want to know when these were made. These don't say. Oh, this guy. There we go. I forgot this guy. 1954. Okay, all right, guys. Here we go. Here's our next airplane. Here it comes, guys. Ta-da! Nice saying G-Boss. Oh my goodness gracious. That looks like 1930s and everything. Well, it is. It is. Well, it's not. It's not. It's 1950s. It's the early 50s. We went. I know what you're gonna say, G-Boss. You went back 1 year again, and you had the 1 year before plane. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We went 1 year ahead. Now we go 1 year back. That's all right. But this is the Piper. This is one of the early Piper airplanes. This is the Twin Piper here. One of the early Twin Pipers. And yes, we got our futuristic design, our futuristic shape. We got a tricycle landing gear. We're a twin engine now. When yes, we have retractable gear. And you're wondering, yes, we do have flaps. We do have flaps. Look at that. Look at this. This is one of the early Piper twin engine planes. This is the development from that early Piper we saw back in part 3. Now look at this, guys. Look how primitive. It looks identical almost to the Cessna here. And I say, G-Boss, no, it doesn't. But you went back 1 year. Well, I'm sorry, guys. We went back 1 year by mistake. So what? It's all right. But look at this. Look at the innovation we got here. We're an enclosed cockpit. Look at this. We got our modern gauges and everything. We don't have to worry about the elements and everything. We got our little window holders, window openers here. And oh my goodness gracious, we got our doors. We got our little passenger cabin there. So, you know, we're good. We're good, guys. We're good. We're good. Now let's get this guy in the air. Here we go, guys. Watch this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Watch this guy. Look at this. And are we up? Nope, we're up now. Look at this, guys. Woo! Look at this, guys. Wow, look at the innovation. And watch this. The gear's going up. The gear's folding, so we don't have to worry about the airplane. We don't have to worry about the legs, the gears sticking out. Look at this, guys. Look how much innovation we've got. Yeah, now the G-Crew's saying, G-Boss, you went back 1 year and you said you had the 1 year before 55. I know, guys, but it's my series, I told you. I'm gonna do whatever order I choose. We're gonna if we go back 1 year, we go back 1 year. If we go ahead 3 or 10 years, what are we gonna do? But so what? But as I said, but look how much innovation we got here with the Twin Piper. We're powerful, we're bigger than the Cessna. We're bigger than the Cessna. We're powerful than the Cessna a little bit. Well, we're a little bit powerful than the Cessna. And no, the G-Boss cannot do a barrel roll. Once again, because this is, But you say, G-Boss, it looks so small. Well, let's see. Can I do a cute little barrel roll for you guys? Yes, I can. There. And now we're going to crash. There we go. But there, I got it. And you're like, aha, G-Boss, we made you crash a little bit, papa. Because we wanted to see a barrel roll like you didn't do with the Cessna. Well, that's all right, guys. That's all right. That's all right. But look how much innovation we've got here, guys. Look at this. Look at the enclosed cabin. We got our yokes back. We got we got our gauges and everything. It's so cool. We don't have to worry about all this, all that stuff like they had in 1906. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We got more innovation. Look at this. Look how much faster we're turning. Look how much faster we are. We got tricycle landing gear. We got brakes. We got radios. We're faster now. We don't have to worry about the little, like the wooden biplanes and triplanes and everything. Look how much innovation we've got here. Look at this. Look how much innovation we got compared to all those planes we had in 1906 and 1928 and 1930s. Look at this. Look how much we've learned since then. How much aviation has learned since then. Look at this. Look at that, guys. Look how much we've learned. Look at the modern shape we got. We got the Cessna pipe. We got the Cessna Piper look. We got the modern look of the plane. And then you say, gee boss, you went back 1 year and now you, but so what, guys? It's so what? This is bigger than the Cessna, isn't it? Well, yes, it is, but you should have went in order, gee boss. But we understand. We understand. You want to make it's your series. Well, yes, you see, guys, it's the G Boss series. But you see, look how much faster we glide in. Look how much faster we glide in compared to those 1900s planes. Look how much faster we glide in and everything. We're not falling out of the sky and everything. We're not trying to. You know what I mean? We're making it. We're doing it. Look at that. We're down already. Look, a little Cessna. Look, there's our Cessna friend taking off in front of us. Look at that. Look at that. There's our Cessna friend taking off in front of us. Just to boast about that I missed his early brother, his early Piper brother here. Look at that. But that's all right, guys. We digress and we move on. But look at the straight. Look at this. We're a monoplane. We're the low wing monoplane compared to the Cessna with the high wing monoplane. Look at that. Where we got more powerful engines. We got the Piper engines back. We got 2 Piper engines instead of 1 Piper engine to get us in the air. We got our lights. We got our retractable gear. We got our flaps and everything. Look at this. Now you're saying, gee boss, are you going to go back in time again? No, now we're going back to 1955 and so on. We're going back. We're going ahead. Don't worry, guys. We're going ahead. We're going ahead. Don't worry. We're going ahead to our next airplane. So look at the innovation we got here, guys. We're larger. We're more powerful. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at this. Look how much aviation has changed since 1906. Since those little wooden biplanes we saw in part 1. Look how much it has changed since then. Guys, hang on for just 1 second, because I gotta do something as I continue the series. Guys, G Crew, just look at the little Piper here for like 5 minutes, because the G Boss has to do something while he's doing the series. So I'll be right with you guys. Hang on. But we're heading to our next airplane. Don't worry. You're going to love the next airplane, guys. It's going to be wonderful. Ah, yes, guys. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. No big deal. No big deal. No big deal. Hang on, you guys. The G-Boss will be right with you to continue the series. Hang on. All right, guys, we're getting to our next airplane. Hang on, we're on our way. We're on our way to our next airplane. Oh, I know what I can do. All right, guys, here comes our... No way. That... All right, we'll do that one. All right, guys, here comes our next airplane. Here comes our next airplane. Everybody ready for it? This is going to be good. This is a good one. Here's that one. Here's our next airplane, guys. You're like, G-Boss, oh my goodness, G-Boss, look at that, it's a little warbird. Well, it is, it's a warbird of 1955. This is the Grumman C-1 Trader. It is a cargo plane from the early Korean War and everything. This is from like the start, but this is the early 1950s. Now you're saying, gee, boss, it's got a cute little tail wheel and it's a tricycle landing gear. Why does this military plane have it? Well, that's because it keeps it stable. You see the tail? The tail is heavy, so it needs the gear here. Now look at this. We got more. Look how much more aerodynamic we are. We're more modern aircraft. We're more modern aircraft. We're more modern and everything. Look how much modern we are since the 1906. Look at this. We're bigger. We're faster. We're more monoplane. We're a bigger monoplane. We're a larger monoplane. We're a little warbird here. We're a big warbird here. Look at this. Look how much we've changed. Now you're saying, gee, boss, does it have flaps? Yes, it does. It has flaps and everything. We already discussed that in part 3. But look at this, guys. Look how much innovation we've had since then. Look how much innovation we've had since then. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look how much innovation we've had since then. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation of this military aircraft. Look at the innovation we've had here. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, we got it. Hang on, guys. We got that one. Yeah, we do. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look how much innovation we have. Are you saying the cockpit? Look at this, guys. More cockpit. Look at this. It's like the Grumman. Look at that. We got windshield wipers. I told you we have windshield wipers. Early windshield. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how much has changed since then. Look how much has changed since then. Now let's get this guy in the air. That's all you want. That's what you guys want to see. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this look at this warplane. Look at this. Watch. Watch this, guys. Look at this. Watch. Watch the gear. Look at the little tail wheel going up. Look at the little tail wheel. Isn't that cute? You're saying, gee, boss, why does it need a tail wheel? It's a tricycle gear. Well, that's because again, the tail sags down. So it needs the tail wheel to keep it balanced. But look at the innovation. We got our Grumman. These are two Grumman engines instead of the Piper and the Cessna. We got two powerful Grumman engines. Two powerful Grumman engines. Look at this. We're a bigger warbird. We're larger. We're faster. We're not that fast. We're not that fast, gang. We're not that fast yet, but we're getting there. We're fast. We're powerful. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, G-Boss, we know what you mean. We already know what you mean. Ha ha ha. We know what you mean, G-Boss. We know what you mean. But look at this, look at this, look at this. Look how much more advanced we are since 1906. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful aircraft design here. Modern design, modern mono-wing. We've got our single tail with our little ailerons here. Look at this. With the back, look at this. Look how much innovation. And look at the cockpit. Windshield wipers, guys. Excuse me, windshield wipers. Can you believe it? Windshield wipers. So we can take the snow and rain off and everything. But look how much advanced we are. Look how much. Look at this. Isn't this great, guys? Look at this. Look how much the Grumman plane is. Look at this. Isn't this nice, guys? Oh my goodness gracious. This is beautiful. And look at this. We can turn easily. No, we can't do a barrel roll. We almost did a barrel roll there. But we can't do a barrel roll, sadly. And you're like, oh. Well, it's a big plane, guys. It's a big military transport plane. So it can't really do it. So, now you're saying, G-Boss, is it a bomber? No, it's a transport. It's a transport aircraft. It's cargo and everything. So they're saying, G-Boss, you're probably saying, G-Boss, was there a passenger version? Well, yes, there was a passenger version of this and a few other military aircraft that had this design, but they never went off the drawing board. But still, we digress. We move on. We get larger planes now in the 1950s. Now you're saying, G-Boss, you're going from 1954 to the early 60s. You missed 51, 52, 53. Well, that's because these planes at the time were in the works. Remember, these guys were concepts in 1949 and 50, 51 to 53. Remember, they were all concepts back then. Remember that, guys. So they were just drawings, and then they became test models, and then poof, the planes started production. So you gotta remember, production time, guys, and you gotta remember innovation. They had to experiment with these planes before they could build them. You know what I mean? So look at this. Look how much innovation. Look at the Grumman. Look how much innovation we got here. And I say, G-Boss, you're going straight to the Korean War. Well, not really. I'm just showing off one of the planes from the Korean War. We're not gonna, you're gonna say, gee boss, you're gonna miss that one? No, 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 I'm not gonna miss that one. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're not gonna miss that. Don't worry. But I'll get into it. Don't worry. Don't worry. But I just wanted to show one of the Korean War planes. But you're saying, gee boss, you said we were gonna look at the airliners too. Well, yeah, but I wanted to show one. I'm gonna show a few Korean War aircraft. Even though I said this is gonna be basically cargo and general aviation, but I wanted to show some military aircraft of the 1950s because I can't just show all the airlines. So you're saying, gee boss, you said general aviation and the airline and everything. I did say that, guys, but come on now. I gotta show some military action. I can't just show airliners. So let's pretend it's like the early start of the Korean War a little bit in flight simulator time. Let's pretend. But our next airplane is going to be an airliner. So let's show another airliner. Let's show an airliner. Then we'll continue after that. So let's show another airliner. But look at this, the little Korean War plane, Korean Warbird. Look how much advanced we are. Look at this. Now our next airplane is going to be an airliner, like I said. And this one is advanced. Let me go get it. You're going to love this, guys. Ah, you're going to love it. Oh, that one. You're gonna love it, guys. I can't wait. Woo-hoo! Where is it? 2.4. Yeah, well that's gonna be, I don't have that one. Oh, wait, is that the AT? Oh, here's a good airplane, guys. Here's a good airplane. I got it. Ah, here it is. No, that's not it. Let me see that airplane up here. Let me see this. This is it. There, here we go. Hang on, guys. Hang on. They're saying, G-Boss, you're saying hold on. Yes, well, here's our next airplane, guys. Look. Now you're saying, G-Boss, whoa! That looks like the Grumman plane. Well, as I said, once again, it takes shape from the Grumman plane. This is the Fokker, like that Warbird we saw in World War II. This is the Fokker F-27 Fellowship, an early turboprop. They're saying, G-Boss, turboprop, turboprop, turboprop. Yes, we had early turboprops back then. Look at this, guys. We had early turboprops back then. Look at this design. It's got the Grumman-esque look. Yes, it does. It's got the Grumman-esque look. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look how beautiful this guy is, guys. Look at this. We got our hot monowing shape. We got our, look at this. We got our modern jet-like nose. We got our modern jet airliner-like nose. We're starting to get into the modern cockpit, jet-like cockpit look. Look at this, guys. Look at this. See that? Look at that. Look, we're a tricycle landing gear, and yes, we do have retractable gear and flaps. Yes. Look at this, guys. Look at this. So this again is the F-27 Fellowship, built in 1955. You're saying, gee, boss, wow, that long ago? Yeah, we had turboprops back then. And you're like, gee, boss, how could there be turboprop back then? Well, there was. There were early turboprops, like the early jets of the 1940s. There were early turboprops back then too. So don't just think the regular propeller plane was just it. Nope, we had turboprops, or turbine engine as they're called. Yep, we had turbine engines back then. Now look at our cockpit, guys. I have no idea what this thing is. What is this? Look at our cockpit, guys. Look at our cockpit, guys. Look at this. Look at this. I have no idea what that is. Excuse that thing on the... But look at this. We got our Grumman-esque cockpit. We got our jet-like cockpit. We're still a propeller plane. We're turboprop now. We're more powerful turboprop. Look at this. Look at this. Freeware flight simulator panel. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how much more modern we are. Look at this. Look how much modern we are. We got our gauges up here. We got our passenger cabin right back there. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how much more modern we are. Look how much more modern we are, guys. Look at this. Now watch the plane. Watch this plane. Look how fast this thing is. Look how fast this thing is, guys. Look at this. You're gonna love it. Woo! Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here, guys. Look how much innovation we've had. We've come since 1906. Look at the innovation here, guys. They say, gee, boss, you're going to run the runway. No, I'm not. Don't worry. This thing will get up. Don't worry. If we run the runway, remember, this is just a demonstration of aircraft design. There we go. Told ya. Slow and steady wins the race. But I know you're going to say, gee, boss, watch out. Well, it's all right, guys. Look, we're going. We got it. I got it. Look how much, look at this. You're saying, gee, boss, that wasn't fast. That was super slow. Well, I'm sorry, guys. It's supposed to be fast. Don't worry. It's supposed to be fast. Yeah, these turboprop planes were pretty fast back then. But you're saying, gee, boss, that was a slow takeoff. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But it was a slow takeoff. But as I said, remember, early turboprop, early turbine airplanes. Remember that, guys. Remember that, guys. Remember that, guys. This is early turboprop technology. We're learning to go faster with the propeller planes and not go slow. We're learning, guys. We're learning, guys. Don't worry. We're learning. You see? Look at our cockpit here. Look how much more modern we are. We've got our jet-like cockpit. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the innovation. Look at this. We got so much innovation here. Isn't that cool? Look at the innovation we got here. High-wing monoplane, large turboprop. We can carry cargo, passengers, etc. Now we're getting into the era of airlines, guys. Now we're getting into the era of the airlines. Look at this, guys. Look how much more faster we are. Look at this. Look at this. You're saying, G-Boss, that's not really fast. Well, it is sort of fast, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. It's fast enough for its time. You know what I mean? But look at this. Look at this. Wow. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation since 1906. Look how far we have come in 1955. Look how far we have come since 1906. Aircraft have finally evolved. See this? Aircraft have evolved since then. See that, guys? You see how? Look at this. Look at the innovation of our F-27 here. Look at our innovation. Look at this. Look at this. We're larger. We're not small anymore. We're not experimental. Well, they're still experimental planes, but still. We're not early 1906, 7, 1910. Look at this. See, you see how much far we've gotten in evolution? Look at this modern design. We got our jet-like nose. We got our jet-like nose now. So now you can say, yes, G-Boss, we're there. Yeah, but we're still getting there, guys. We're still getting there. We're still getting there. They saying, G-Boss, you're gonna fall out of the sky with that thing. Well, not really, no. Don't worry, guys. The G-Boss has it. But look how much this guy handles. Look at this. It handles pretty good for an early turboprop airliner. It handles pretty good for its time. It handles pretty good. It handles pretty good for a turboprop of this stature, isn't that? Look at that. We're down already. See, in 1906, we had to literally like fall out of the sky. And it's like, why? But we did. But what can you do, guys? What can you do? Right? We digress and move on. But look at the innovation we've got. Look how much innovation has changed since 1906. Look at this. Look at the innovation since 1906. How far we have come in the series. How far we've come since part 1. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Now, our next airplane, you're going to say, G-Boss, is it another airliner? Yes, it is. It's another airliner. It's another airliner. And you're like, yay, yay. You showed us one military plane, but yes, we're going to show a little more after that. But our next one is another airliner. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love our next airliner, guys. I can't wait to show you it. Oh, you're going to love it. You're saying, G-Boss, are you sure we're going to love it? Yes, you are. You're going to love it, guys. It's going to be bigger, powerful, just as powerful as our little F-27 fellowship here. Just as powerful, you guys. Alright, let me go get it. Well, there it is, you guys. There's the F-27 fellowship. Look at that. Look how much innovation we've gotten. You're saying, G-Boss, where is it? Hang on, guys. I'm looking for something. Hang on. Give me a minute. Hang on, guys, hang on. All right, guys, get ready for our next airplane. Get ready for our next airplane, guys. You're gonna love it. You're gonna like, oh yay, woo! We can't wait. Hang on, guys, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. All right, guys, you ready? Yeah, we're ready. All right. Get ready, guys, for our next airplane. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Woo! They're waiting for it. All right, guys, hang on. Oh, you know what, guys? You know what, guys? We are going to be looking at another military jet. Hang on. We are going to be looking at another military jet. Hang on. And you're like, oh, gee, boss, you said. I know I said. I know I said. You're like, gee, boss, you said, I know I said, but come on, guys, come on. Come on, you guys, you gotta bear with me. Hang on. Where was it? Ah, right here. Here it is. You're saying, gee, boss, another military plane? Come on now. But we have to, guys. We have to. I know I said airliner, but we're going to do one more. We're going to do military airplane. Don't worry. We got to. Here it is, you guys. You're saying, oh my goodness, gee, boss, what is that? That, guys, is the Tupolev Tu-16 Badger from Russia. It's a bomber. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we have here. Look at this. We got our jet age airplane going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at the development here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this Russian technology. Look at this. Now you're saying, gee, boss, does it have flaps and everything? Of course it does. Why wouldn't that have flaps? Look at this, guys. Look how much bigger and faster this thing is. Look at this. Wow. Wow. Look at this, guys. Look how big this thing is. And here's the cockpit. Here it is. More modern cockpit, guys. Or a more modern cockpit. Look at this. Now, I know you're saying, gee, boss, you said airliner, not a military plane. Well, I'm sorry. But we're using we're going to every stage, guys. I know I said airliner, but I decided I'm going to show a few military. I can't forget the military planes at the time. But watch this, guys. Look how fast this thing goes. Watch. Look at this, guys. Watch it. Watch it. And the G Crew's like, no, it's not fast. Well, you gotta give it time, guys. Give it time to wind up. It's an early jet. Remember that. It's an early jet bomber. They say, G-Boss, you're going to overrun the runway. Well, so what? Remember, this is my series. Look at this, guys. Off the runway and into the air. Look at this. Whoa, there the G Crew saying, whoa, G-Boss. Oh, my goodness gracious. You did it. You did it. You jumped up just in time. I did. But look how much look at the advantage we've got here with this Tupolev jet. Look at this, guys. Look how much we've got here since 1906. Look at the swept wing technology. Look at the swept wing technology we got. We're now swept wings. There's straight wings. There's swept wing planes. There's tail draggers, tricycle planes, anything. But look at this swept wing technology. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at the wing shape. Look at this. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way since then. Since the little Blario 14 biz white flyer, rigid airplane, Handley Page, and yep. Look how far we've come since then, guys. Look at this. They say, G-Boss, you let the flaps down. Well, that's because I wanted to. So that way you can see the innovation here. And you can see the innovation of the cockpit. Look how much more modern we got our jet cockpit that we know and love. We finally got a jet cockpit. We don't have a turboprop. We're not outside cockpit anymore. But look at the innovation. Look at this. A jet. It's a swept wing jet aircraft. Look at this, guys. It's a swept wing jet. Look at this. Look how fast we're going. Look at this. Your G-Boy figure's like, it's not that fast. Well, it is. For its time, it was fast. And it was. Remember that, guys. Military planes have come a long way since part 3. Look how much they've evolved since part 3. Look at this. We got large swept wings. We're a large high wing. We're a large bomber. We can carry anything. Look at this. There's airlines now and everything. Look at this. But guess what, guys? G-Boss, you're falling out of the sky. So what? So what, guys? So what? We're falling out of the sky. So what? Ouch! You fell out of the sky, G-Boss. So what? This is the series, guys. It's my series. I can do whatever I want. But look, guys. Look at the innovation we got here. Look how much innovation has come since 1906 and 1928, especially since 1928. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here with our cockpit. Look at the innovation we've gotten here. Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here in 1955 and everything. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we've got here. Look at this, guys. Isn't this a jet plane now? There's jets now. Isn't that cool? Awesome, huh? Right, guys? Jets. Look at this. Early jets in the 1950s. Look at this. They say, G-Boss, are you going to go to an airliner now? Yes, I am. I just wanted to show this guy off, because this was part of the early 50s and mid 50s. So this is part of 1955 as well. So yes. But look at this. Look at this. Look how big we are. We're larger. We're not lumbering along like a little biplane, like a little Curtiss biplane and everything. We're not lumbering along. We're large. We're faster. We don't have to worry about the pilot hanging out of the cockpit and everything. Oh my goodness gracious, G-Crew. Look how much far we've come since then. Look how much far we've come since then. Alright guys, excuse me, the G-Boss has to do something while the series is going. Hang on. Watch, look at the Russian plane for a minute. Hang on. Hey, hang on guys. But isn't that cool, guys? An early 1950s jet. Bomber. Jet bomber, I should say. Do. Yeah, still have to it'll do. It'll do. Hang on, guys. Be right with you. Hang on, guys. Be right with you. Ah, yes, okay. Alright, guys, here we go. Alright, guys, let's get to our next airliner, shall we? Alright, guys, here we go. Our next airliner. And G-Crew's going to better be an airliner, G-Boss. It will be, don't worry. Don't worry, guys, it's going to be. Alright. Let's see. Early airliner. All right, guys. Oh, this little guy. That's right. That's right. This little guy. All right, guys. You ready? All right, guys. Our next airliner is coming up. And you're like, gee, boss, you said that already. That's 19. All right. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm looking. Sheesh. Oh. Is this it? 1958. You're like, gee, boss, where is it? Hurry. 1958, of course. Hang on, you guys. I'm looking for it. Give me a minute. No rush. No rush. Ah, 1987. Okay, well, we're getting close. Hang on, you guys. You're like, gee, boss, hurry. Where is it? It's coming. It's coming. What about this one? That's going to be the last. Gee, boss, hurry. Where is it? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming, guys. Mm. Oh, I do have that. But you know what? We are going to actually use this. Hang on, guys. G-Boss, hurry. I'm hurrying, guys. Give me a minute. Don't rush me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All right. We're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do a little skipping ahead here. And you're like, G-Boss, no. Hang on, guys. I'll find something. Give me a minute. When was this guy developed? All right, we're gonna have to skip that. G-Boss, hurry! I'm going as fast as I can, guys. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, guys. We're getting there. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Duh. $1958. G-Boss, hurry! You're wasting time. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get there. I'm looking for it. It takes a little while. Oh wait a minute, I know what I wanted to show. Yes. The G crew's yelling at me. Hurry, G-Boss. We don't have all night. It's hard, guys. It's hard to find one. Hang on. Ooh. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Ooh. The G-Crew's like, hurry up, G-Boss, hurry. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for. Yes. Well, you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna skip a few years. All right, guys. Here's our next airliner. You ready? Here's our next airliner, guys. Oh, not that one. Hang on, guys. It's thinking. Give me a minute. Give it a minute. Now, you guys already seen this airplane, but look at this. Everyone knows what this is. Look at this, you guys. We went from 1955 to 1957. This is the Antonov AN-12, one of the Russian airline cargo planes. Look at this, guys. You're like, gee, boss, we've seen that already. Yeah, I know, but look, we're using it in the series. Look how more modern it is. Look at this, guys. Look at this. We jumped 2 years ahead. Look at this, guys. Look how much innovation we got here with this guy. Look at the innovation we got with the turboprop here. Look at this. We're a 4-engine aircraft now. We're not twin engine. We're 4-engine now. Look at this. We got our modern airplane shape that we know and love. This is awesome, isn't it, guys? Look at this. Look at this. And here's the cockpit. Look, our more modern. There's our little co-pilot guy. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look how much more modern we are. Wow. And you're saying, gee, boss, you're going to run off the runway. No, I'm not, because you've already seen this plane before. Look at this. Look how fast we get off with this plane. Look how fast we get off with this airplane. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we got here. We're a 4-engine aircraft now. We're not twin engine. We're 4 engines now. Isn't that cool? Yes, and you're saying, gee, boss, there were 4-engine planes back then? Yep, there were. And you're saying, gee, boss, you're stalling. Nope. Well, I am now. You're saying, gee, boss, you crashed in the series. Oh, so what, guys? So what? We digress, we move on. We're going to get in the air again, don't worry. There we go, see? See? All over. Look at that. Look how powerful we are with the AN-12. Look how much more powerful we are with the AN-12. Look at this. Look at this. Look how much more powerful we are, guys. Look at this. Wow. Bigger, faster, stronger. Look at this. Can climb higher. Can carry a lot more people and cargo than those 1900s planes and that little Curtiss biplane. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we got here. Look at the innovation we got here, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at this, guys. You're saying, G-Boss, what's so cool about it? It's awesome, guys. Look. Look at this, guys. Look at this. 1957. Look at this. You're saying, gee, boss, you skipped a year again. I did. But that's all right. This is the series. The G-Boss, the G-Crew's like, oh, that's all right, guys. And you're like, G-Boss, you went to 1954 with the little Piper plane from the Cessna. So what? We digress. But look at the innovation we got here. Look at our jet-like cockpit. Look at our jet-like shape, guys. Look how much innovation we've had since 1906. Look at the innovation here, guys. Look at the innovation, guys. Look how much more look how much bigger we are and much more powerful we are. Look at this. Look at the modern airplane shape is starting to come in. Look at this, guys. The modern airplane shape we all know and love is starting to come. Look at that. It's coming. It's already there. It's already there, guys. It's already there. The modern shape is already there. Look at that. The modern shape is already there. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. The modern shape of the airplane. Look at this. The modern plane of the late 50s. Look at this. Of the early 50s and late 50s. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look how big we are. We're powerful. 4 engines now. We're 4 engines now. No, but there's still twin engines and single engines. But look at this. More powerful turboprops. We're carry more cargo and people now. We can go further. We can go further than we ever did before. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. You're saying, G-Boss, G-Boss. G-Boss, look at G-Boss, this is good series. Look at this. Look at this. We have come a long way since part 1. Yes, we have since part 1, guys. You say, G-Boss, you're gliding toward the runway. Yes, well, so what? But look at the innovation we've got here, guys. Look how far we've come since 1906 and 1928. The little Curtiss biplane and the Waco. Look at this. Look how much far we've gone since then. You're saying, G-Boss, you look like you're gonna come out of the sky. Well, G-Boss, you're not on the runway, so what? Remember, look at this, so what? You stalled, so what, guys? You did so nicely in the World Tour, so what? This is the series, guys. This is the Evolution series. Look at this. Look how much more powerful we are. 4 engines. We're larger, carry more passengers, more efficient than those little 1930s and the 20s and early 40s planes. Look how more efficient we've gone since then. Look how efficient we are since then, guys. Look at this. Look at this. More modern jet, more modern airplane. We're the modern airplane that we know today. You're saying, G-Boss, what are you doing? I'm turning around so I can get onto the other runway here so I don't have to worry about turning on the grass. And you turn on the grass anyway, G-Boss? Well, that's all right. But anyway, this is a bigger plane, guys. Larger turning radius. Remember, larger planes have larger turning radiuses. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that, guys. Larger turning radius with these larger planes. They don't just go whoop. You know what I'm saying? They don't just go whoop. All right, guys. But what do you think of this guy, our World Tour plane that we used? What do you think of this guy? Isn't he beautiful? Nah, this is good. Yeah, this is great, guys. And we're getting into more airliners. Do you think this is the only airliner we're going to see? Oh, our next airplane, we're going to see it, guys. Our next jet-powered airplane. Next jet-powered airplane. Our next jet-powered airplane, guys. Our next jet-powered airplane. Guys, look at this. I can't wait. This is going to be great, guys. Look at this. You're saying, G-Boss, oh my goodness gracious, this is a lot. Yep, it's a lot. There's a lot. Do do do. Hang on, guys. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. All right, guys. Here's our next airplane. Here's our next airplane. It's going to be in. Well, actually, I said to you it's going to be a turboprop. Nope, it's going to be it's you're going to be like it's another turboprop. Well, you'll see what I mean, guys. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean, guys. You'll see what I mean. Whoop, sorry, can't see, can't look. You can say, is it a jet or a turboprop, G-Boss? You're gonna love it, guys. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, guys. Hang on, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. All right, guys. Are you ready? I can't wait to show you this. I can't wait to show you this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. I can't move. Oh well. Hang on, guys. Hang on. You're gonna love this, guys. I can't wait. I can't wait to show you. You ready, guys? Here it is. You're like, G-Boss, what on earth? Wow! You're like, G-Boss, you tricked us. Yep, we got a helicopter, guys, an early 1950s helicopter here. We got an early 1950s helicopter. You're like, G-Boss, I thought you were not going to show the early helicopters. Well, I've decided to. This is the HC... This is the HC-21. This is the HC-21. Look at this, guys. Look at the helicopter. We got early rotor. We got early helicopters here in the 1950s. Now you're saying, G-Boss, you said you were not going to show them. Well, I decided. And this is an airliner, guys. You see, it says New York Airways. It's an airliner helicopter. You're like, G-Boss, yay! Yay, you're showing us helicopter, yeah. And you're like, gee, boss, what does the cockpit look like? Look at this, guys. Just like airplane. And look, we got windshield wiper. We got a windshield wiper. And there's our passenger cabin to carry our passengers. Look at this, guys. Isn't this beautiful? And yes, we're like a yoke. We're a yoke. Isn't that cool and cuddly? Yeah. Well, let's get this guy in the air, shall we? Look at this. And you're saying, gee, boss, what does this helicopter have? Does it have anything like an airplane does? Well, it doesn't have retractable gear, if you're wondering. No, it does not have retractable gear. But look at the innovation of the helicopter. We got an airplane, it's got like a fly, they called this the flying banana. And you're like, banana, you're like, gee, boss, what does fruit have to do with a helicopter? Well, that's the name they gave it in the military and in commercial service. They called it the flying banana because it would look like a banana almost. But this is an early passenger helicopter, guys. This is an early 1950s passenger helicopter. This is like, you're like, gee, boss. Was it like World War II and everything? Well, not really. It was designed from the World War II helicopters. This is like as I said, this is an early helicopter design and all that. But look at this. Look at the innovation this helicopter has. 2 rotors. It's a twin rotor helicopter, not a single rotor. It's a big twin rotor helicopter. And look at this. And the G crew's like, gee, I thought he was going to show the airplanes. He said he was going to show us airliner. He's showing us a helicopter airliner. Well, yes, because helicopters were airliners like as they are today. There were some helicopter airlines back then, and there's still some helicopter airlines today. So, yes. And he's saying, gee, boss, why? Well, because. Now you're saying, gee, boss, it looks like you're stolen and everything. Well, because, remember, this is a helicopter. It's a rotor plane. Remember, it goes up. It doesn't go like an airplane does. See, it comes down. See? It comes down. See? And it goes back up. Watch. See? You see the yoke. You see the stick, like the 1920s stick. I gotta push the blades forward to go forward. So that way the helicopter goes forward. If I want to go up, I push the blades to go up. You see? It's not like an airplane. But you see, we had helicopters back then, not just the jets and the early propeller plane, early turboprops. We had helicopter technology back then, see? And you're like, gee, boss, yeah, we see it, but you're falling out of the sky like the 1920 planes are doing. Well, that's because, remember, helicopters, guys, this is an early helicopter airliner. I'm showing you it because I want to show the helicopters of the time. You got to show the helicopters too. I got to show the helicopters. And you see, it's got wheels. And you say, gee, boss, why does the helicopter have wheels? Why doesn't it have the skids like we see? Why doesn't it have the skids? Well, because helicopters need wheels to land. Not every helicopter has wheels. There's some, even to this day, with skids. There's still skids helicopters. There's float helicopters with floats like the seaplanes and everything. So you got to remember, guys, the helicopter has evolved just like the airplane. The helicopters come a long way too, not just the airplane. Remember, a helicopter is a rotorcraft, but it's still part of the airplane family. Remember that. A helicopter is still part of the airplane family. If it's a rotor, if it's got rotors or not. Remember, this helicopter is still part of the airplane family. See, it's got the airplane. You see, it's got the airplane. See, it's got the airplane tail. So that means this helicopter was created from an airplane. As you know, helicopters were created from the airplanes. So you can say that you know that, guys, that the helicopters were created from the airplanes. So if it wasn't for the airplanes, we wouldn't have helicopters. Remember that. And he's saying, gee, boss, you're going really slow with it. Well, that's because, remember, helicopters don't taxi. They don't taxi. They hover taxi. They hover. They don't taxi like a plane. You see, that's why it's going slow, because it's supposed to hover like this. It's supposed to hover in the air like that. You see, I'm pushing forward so the rotors can go, so I can go forward. You see the little dust cloud from the rotor blades. You see that, guys? You see the little dust cloud from the rotor blades? Look at that. See that? Mm-hmm. And the G-Boss is like, yeah, we see it. We see it. We see it. But look at this innovation of the helicopter. Look at this early 1950s helicopter. Look at this. Look at this, how much has learned from the airplane. Look how much has learned from the airplane with this early helicopter. Look at this. Look how much we've learned from the airplane to create this helicopter, so we can go vertical instead of always going down the runway. You know what I'm saying, guys? You see, look how much more. You see, look, see, boing, boing. See, the G-Boss can make the helicopter dance. See, boing, boing. See, I'm making the helicopter dance. See, I'm making it dance a little bit for you guys. And you're like, G-Boss, the G-Boss, you're like, G-Boss, stop being silly. Don't dance the helicopter. Tell us about it. Don't dance it. Well, I just want to show you that it's maneuverable than an aircraft. Helicopters are a little more maneuverable than an airplane, guys. We know that. Helicopters are a little more maneuverable than the fixed wing airplanes that we know. Remember that. These guys are a lot more maneuverable. They can hover. They can go places that the smaller Cessnas and the turboprop planes can't go. Remember that. They're versatile. They can do anything. Remember, that's why we created the helicopter, so we can get into tight little spaces where the Cessnas and the Pipers and the Blarios and the Rigids and the 14 Bizzes couldn't go. Remember that. That's why we created them. So we could get into those tight little spaces. But now you're saying, G-Boss, are we going back to fixed-wing jet turbo airplanes? Yes. I just wanted to show this one helicopter. There's a lot more helicopters in the series, guys, in part 5. So this is one of the first. You'll see there's a lot more. But now we're heading back to regular airplane technology. I can't wait to show you it. Our next jetliner. Airliner, not jetliner. You know what I mean. Our next airliner is coming up, guys. I can't wait. All right, guys. Now we're going to be heading to 1958. You're like, G-Boss, you're skipping ahead? Yes, I am. I'm skipping ahead. Now we're going to go to 1958. This is going to be great. See, I rhymed there. Get ready for some larger aircraft, some airliners now. Oops, what happened here? Look at this, guys. Here's our next airplane. This is the Aero Commander. You're like, G-Boss, you used that with Killer Gamer. Yeah, well, this guy was built in the 1950s. This is the airliner. Look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we got here with this guy. Look how much more jet-esque look we got with this guy. You see that? We got our jet-like look again. Look at this. And yes, we got flappity flaps. Look at this, guys. We got flappity flaps. Look at this, guys. And here's our more modern cockpit. Look at this. We can carry people, cargo, whatever. This is a little airliner. Look at this, guys. Look how fast we're going. Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here with this little guy. Look at this. We were faster. Oh my goodness, we're faster than the little Cessna and that little Piper plane. See this? We're a turboprop again. You're like, yay, turboprop. Yep, yay, turboprop, guys. That's right. Look at this, up, and we're up already. And there goes the gear. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! We're up already. Look at the gear. It goes into these little wheel well things instead of inside where the engines are, like most airplanes are. Look at this, guys. Look at the technology we have here. Look how much technological we have with the little aero commander. Look at this. Look at the shape we got. We got our modern airplane shape like the Antonov. We got our jet-like shape now. We're modernized. We got more modern interior now. We're not just biplane and canvas and wood and everything and early design. Isn't this nice, guys? Look at this. Look, I can even do a barrel roll. Look, the Jeep crew's like, you haven't done a barrel roll. You did one barrel roll with the little Cessna and everything. Well, with the other plane. Well, I did. Well, you see, even this guy can do a barrel roll. See? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this guy. We can go straight up. We can go straight down. You're like, no, don't go straight up and down, G-Boss. Just do another barrel roll. Do a quick little barrel roll for us. And look, we can even do it. We can go upside down. And you're like, G-Boss, you're crashing. Nope. Nope. See how those counterweights keep the plane from going, oh no! You see that, G-Crew? You see how the counterweights act? You're like, G-Boss, there's a plane coming in, watch out. Yeah, I know, but so what? This is our series. There's our Skyhawk we saw before. Look at him. He's coming in to boast that I did him first and his Piper brothers. So what? Well, we're coming in alongside him. We're gonna come in alongside him. But look at the advantage we got here. We're a turboprop. We're faster. We don't need anything else. Ba ba ba. You know, we're gonna let our little Cessna friend land. We're not gonna push him off the runway. Let's let him land, guys. Let's let him land, guys. Let's let our Cessna friend land. We don't want to be rude and land on top of him. So let's go again. Let's let him land and taxi. So you look at the innovation we got here, guys. Just like we got our Antonov AN-12-esque look. We got our modern turboprop look. See that? But now we're back to being a twin engine. You're like, gee, boss, we just saw a 4-engine jet turboprop jet. Blah, 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 blah. So what, guys? There were a lot of planes, and there's a lot of planes today that are single, twin, 4, 6, and it have you. You got to remember that, guys. There was a lot of planes back then and today. But look at the event. Look at this. We got our modern cockpit. We're a small, like, little airline or a charter plane now. Oh, my goodness gracious. We have come a long way, you guys. And now we can land because our little Cessna friend is gone off the runway there. So here we go, guys. Watch this. See how good the landing is? Look at this. Look at the innovation since 1906 and 1928. Look at the innovation here, guys. Look at this. Look how much far we've come. We're faster, higher, stronger, bigger. We can carry more things now. We're not in an open cockpit anymore. We're not wriggling around going, ah! Look at this, guys. Look how much. Look at this, guys. Woo! Look at this, guys. Isn't this cool? But our next airplane is another 4-engine plane. And you're like, gee, boss, another 4-engine airplane, guys. I can't wait to show you it. You're gonna love it. You say, oh my, you're gonna like, gee, boss, wow, more airliners. Yep. And there might be a little military plane. And you're like, aw. But that's all right, guys. We show all. We show all. We show all. But don't worry, guys. There's our next big propeller plane, turboprop plane, is on its way. I can't wait. Look at this, guys. Ooh, look at that. Nice and steady. Woo! Look at that, guys. Isn't that cool? Wow. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Tricycle landing gear. More modern shape. Look at this. We've modernized. Look at that, guys. We've modernized. Isn't that cool? Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Wow, we've come a long way. We got our little rotary beacon up here. Little rotary beacon. Look at that. How far we've advanced since then. Since 1928 and 1930, early 1930s. Look at this. Look how much advanced we got back then. Wow, you're saying G-Boss. You're like, wow, G-Boss, that's a lot. Yep. That's a long way, G-Boss. That's right. All right, you get ready, guys. You ready for our next big propeller plane turboprop? Yeah! Of course you guys are. Because it's going to be big. It's going to be powerful. And it's going to be awesome. So say so long to our little express airplane, little airliner commander. And say hello to a bigger plane. All right, guys, get ready. This is going to be great. You're going to love it. Woo! Yeah, G-Boss, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yay! More! All right, guys, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it is, guys. Ta-da! You're like, G-Boss. Whoa, that looks like the 1930s plane. Well, guys, let me tell you, this is also from the this may be 1940s technology, but this is this is 1950s. This is 1940. Remember, this is the mid 50s. Remember that. They were planes that looked like this. This is the Lockheed Constellation, one of the most recognizable aircraft of its time, and it was a big propeller plane. Now you're saying, is it turboprop? No, it's a piston engine airplane. That's you're saying piston engine? Yeah, that's like an early turboprop, the piston engine, but it's not. It's an early engine. But you can say, but let's pretend that this is a turboprop. You can pretend that this Constellation is a turboprop, guys. You can pretend. You guys can pretend that it's a turboprop. And yes, it's got flaps, but they're very slow to come down. Very slow to come down. See? Here they come. Very slow to come down. Look at that. See? Look at this. Very slow to come down, guys. But hey, we digress and we move on. See? Look at this, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that, guys. Beautiful, isn't it? I say, G-Boss, what does the cockpit look like? Look at this, guys. The modern cockpit. You're saying, G-Boss, it's not really that modern. It's modern. Look at the gauges. Look. We got our little fire extinguisher. See, we got passenger safety. We got safety now on the plane. See, look at this. We got windshield wipers again. Look at the windshield wipers, guys. And look, we got our visor. We got an early visor to keep the sun out of our head. See, to keep the sun out of our eyes in the plane. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Wow, look at that, guys. Look at the visors come down. Now you're saying, can you click on the windshield wiper? I'm trying. I can't. But look at this, guys. Look at the techno. I know you're saying, G-Boss, that looks like from part 3. Well, once again, this is mid 50s to This airplane was still around in the mid 50s to early 60s. So you can say this was an early turboprop of its time. Yes, it was. Look at that, guys. Look at the innovation we got there. Look at this. Look at this. Hang on, guys. Hang on. G-Boss is doing something off camera. Hang on, you guys. G-Boss is doing something off camera. Hang on. He'll be right with you. Alright guys, hang on, I'll be right with you. G-Boss is doing something off camera, hang on. Hang on guys, we'll get back to the plane, hang on. Alright guys, hang on. Right with you. You're like, G-Boss, hurry up. We want to see the plane in action and learn more about it. Yes, we will learn more about it. Don't worry. All right, guys, here we go. You ready? All right. So the Lockheed Constellation was one of the big airliners of the 1950s and 60s and early. And you're saying early 40s too, G-Boss? Yeah, a little bit. But look at this. Look at this. Look how fast this thing is. Look, we're 4 engines. We're still a 4-engine airplane. Remember that. And we're back to the tri-tail. We're back, and now we got a 3-tail. Now you're saying, G-Boss, is that for stability to keep the plane from going yikes in the air? Like, yeah, to keep it from crashing in the air. Now look at this, guys. Look at this. You're saying, G-Boss, oh my goodness gracious, oh my goodness gracious, G-Boss, you got up with that big turboprop. Yes, I did. Look at that. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Look at this, guys. Look how much more advanced. And you're saying, G-Boss, you're going down. Well, that's all right. This is, we're learning. And watch the gear, guys. Watch the gear go up. Watch the gear. Look at that. See? Each of the gear has its own compartment now. As it's not sticking out like the Curtis or the Waco. You see that? You see that, guys? And the flaps are going. You hear the flaps going up, the early flaps. You hear the whining of the flaps. You hear that? You hear that? Isn't that cool, guys? You're like, G-Boss, don't you need the flaps? Not really, no, because you're saying, G-Boss, you're not going that high. Well, remember, guys, early propeller plane here. You see this? You see, now we're going higher. You're saying, G-Boss, can you do a barrel roll with it? No, I can't. It's too big. It's an airliner. You see? Look at the airliner-esque shape. Look, we got our jet-like nose. We got our airliner. We got our jet-like fuselage. Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here. Look at this, guys. Modern planes. Modern, modern, modern. Look at that, guys. Modern aircraft. Look at this, G-Crew. Look at this. Wow. Look how far we are from the runway. Look how far we are. You're saying, G-Boss, you're going to try to land back? Of course. But look at the innovation we got here. We're an airliner now. We're not a little biplane. We're a giant, big propeller airplane. Big turboprop piston engine airplane. Look at this. Look at this, guys. And look at the cockpit. Look at our cockpit. Look at that, guys. Look how much advanced we are. Look how much advanced we are. But now you're saying, G-Boss, what's our next plane? Our next plane, you say? Yes, G-Boss. What's the next airplane, G-Boss? Well, our next plane is a jet. A jet! Yay! Jet, jet, jet. Jet, jet, jet. Yep, that's our next airplane, a jet. Yep, our next airplane is a big 4-engine jet. You're going to love it. But you see, don't you like the constellation here, guys? Don't you like the constellation here, guys? Isn't it cool? Look how big this thing is. Look how more powerful this thing is compared to what we saw in 1907, 1906 and 1907. You're saying, G-Boss, where's the flaps? Are they coming down? Sort of. Hang on, guys, look at this. Here come the flaps. All right, guys, look at the innovation that the Constellation has. Look at the innovation it has. Look at this. Look at the innovation. We're larger, faster, quicker, and we don't have to worry about biplane technology and everything. My goodness gracious, how far we have come since then. Look how much more farther we've come since 1907. You're saying, G-Boss, you're crashing through the fence. Well, it's alright, guys. It's alright. It's alright. We digress. We move on. We digress. We move on. Remember, this is just the G-Boss's series. He can do whatever he wants. We heard that. But look at the innovation with the constellation we got here. Look at this. Look at the innovation we got here with this guy. You're going through a tree, G-Boss. Watch out. So what? So what? You know what? We're gonna turn around here. G-Crew, we love you. Look at this, look at this. What happened to the flappy thing? Look at this, guys. Big propeller plane. The advantage of the early days, guys. The advantage of the early days. Here we go, back on the runway. Whee! Yep, we're back on the runway, guys. Yay! Alright, now get ready for our jet airplane. Alright, guys, here we go, here we go. Get ready for our jet airplane now. The Jeep crew's like, yay, jet plane, woo! Yay! Yep, jet plane time. Whee! When did this guy come out? Alright guys, here it comes. Here comes our jet plane. Here it is, guys. Ta-da! And you're like, gee, boss, wow! Yep, you know, everyone knows what this is. The Boeing 707 jetliner. Look at this. Look how much advanced we are. We're a swept wing jet now. We're bigger, we're faster. We got 4 engines. We're much more powerful. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how much more powerful we are. Look at that. And yes, we have flaps. Because we're a jet plane. We're flaps now. We're a more modern jet plane. We're a more modern airplane. We're not just canvas and wood anymore. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look at the flaps going down all the way. Look at this. That's cool. Look at that. You're saying, gee, boss, you sure you can make it on this little runway here? Of course I can. I can do it. Look at this, guys. Modern jet. We got our modern shape. We got our modern shape that we all know and love. Look at this, guys. Isn't that cool? We got our modern jet-like shape and everything. Wow. And here's our jet age cockpit, just like the commander. Look at this. Look at all these buttons and dials and everything. Look at this to make the plane go. We got safety here. Look at this. Wow. Look at all this. Look at this modern cockpit. Look at this. Look how look how modern we are, guys. Look at that. You ready to go in the air? Of course you are. Ready for takeoff. Look at this. We got the little smoke trail happening. Look at this. Look at the little smoke trail. Oh, look at that, guys. Isn't that cool? We're faster now. You're saying, gee, boss, I don't think you'll be able to make it. Oh, this plane can make it. Look. Wow, gee, boss, you did it. A tiny runway with a big jet. Yep. Look at this, guys. Look at the contrail. We got our contrail starting to come. The contrail that we all know and love is starting to come a thing now. And listen to the gear going up. Landing gear, landing gear, landing gear, landing gear. Yep, that's right. Now you're saying, gee, boss, why is it saying that? Because it's saying that. You're saying, gee, boss, enough of the landing gear, we know. Well, that's because I have to put the flaps up, that's why. When you put the flaps up, it starts going away. But look how high we've come. Look how high we are, guys. Look how high we are since 1928 and 1906. Look how high we are, guys. Look how high we are. Look at this, guys. Look how high we are. Wow, look how high we are, guys. Wow, look how high we are, guys. Woo! You saying, G-Boss, what's that sound? That's nothing. That's no sound. Isn't it? Oh, we got an auto brake here, guys. We got so much advantage here on this plane. Look at this. We got so much advantage on this aircraft. Oh my goodness. Throttles, computers, early computers. Oh my God, look at this. Wow. Ignore the warning switch. Oh my God, we're far from the runway. Look how high we are, guys, look. And yes, I'm doing a barrel roll. Nope, I can't do a barrel roll. I can't do a barrel roll. That's not nice. Look at that, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how far we've come since 1906. Since 1906, we were just like right over there. And look at this, guys. You're like, G-Boss, wow. We've come a long way. We have come a long way, guys. We have come a long way since then. Now, where's the airport? There it is. You're saying, G-Boss, the warning light. The warning light. I know the warning light, guys. I can't do anything about it. Where's the airport we were at? Is that it? Is that the airport we started at? No. Oh dear. Nope, that's not our airport. Where's the airport? Oh my goodness, guys, we went too far. Wow. Oh, there's Pompano. There's Pompano back there. I see it. There's Pompano. There it is, back there. There's Pompano. We're heading back. We're heading back, guys. You're like, G-Boss, we went far. Yep. Look how far we've come, guys. Look how far we've come since then. Here we go, guys. We're landing. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Look at the advance. Look at this, a jet airliner. We're in the jet airliner, jet age airline. Look at this, the jet age now on the G series. The G crew was like, we knew we were gonna get there sooner or later with G-Boss. G-Boss wouldn't leave the jet plane out. No, I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't. Well, here we go, guys. We did our little flight around, and now we're coming back. And you're saying, G-Boss, without the flap? Well, because of the warning thing that goes landing gear. Let's just try it without the flap, like we did with the Constellation. Let's see if we can do it. Wow. Look how far we've come, guys. The jet age here on the G Crew series, on the G series. The jet age is here in the Evolution series. Yay! Now you're saying, G-Boss, is there more after this guy? Yep, there's a few more jets and a few more turboprops coming up until we get to the early 60s, and then we'll be really going from there, guys. I can't wait. This is 1958. You're in G-Boss. You're in G-Boss. Wow. We went from 55, 54, and back to 55, and now 58. Yep, that's what we did, guys. That's what we did. You say, G-Boss, you're not on the runway. Oh, well, remember, this is a big jet plane, guys. Remember, big jet. So, big jet. Remember that. Large turning radius with this guy. Remember that. Remember that, guys. We have a large turning radius with the 707. We're not like the little Commander. We can't turn around easily. We can't turn around easily. We're an airliner. We gotta go slow. See? We go slow. You're like, gee boss, you don't have to go that slow. I know. But I want to, so that way you can see. But look at the advantage. Look at the technological. Look how much we advanced since that little Blario and the 14 biz and the Rigid and the Wright Flyer 3 and the Handley Page. Look how much we've gone from since then. Look at this. We've gone to our modern jet. We've gone to the modern jet shape that we all know and love. Oh, this is great, guys. You're going to love it. And now our next airplane is one of my old-time favorite jets of the 1950s. Oh, I can't wait to show you it. It's coming up now. This is a good series, guys. I'm enjoying this series with you. And I'm glad you're enjoying the series too. This is cool, guys. This is cool. This is cool, guys. I'm enjoying this with you. All right, guys, here we go. Nope, we can't do that one. Well, hang on, guys. We gotta go a little. We gotta keep going to more modern plane. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Is this the 1950s guy? 1960s. All right. You know what, guys? We're gonna skip ahead. You're like, gee, boss, again? We're skipping ahead? Well, hang on, guys. I gotta look around here. All right, guys, here's our next 1950s plane. You know what? Let's use the Eastern one. Here's our next 1958 airplane. Here it is. Here it is, guys. You're like, gee, boss, we saw that plane in the World Tour. Yeah, but not this one. Not this color. This is not this color. You saw a different color. But this is the McDonnell Douglas MD 188, or or in French, I'm gonna want to butcher it, but the Burgess. I'm sorry if there's any French people watching, but this is the hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. Hang on, guys. This is the Burgett 941, or the McDonnell Douglas MD 188 turboprop from 1958. You're like, gee, boss, wow, another turboprop. Yep. This is another airliner, and look, flaps like you saw. And look at the flaps go all the way down, guys. Look at this. The flaps go all the way down. Look at that, guys. The flaps go all the way down. Look at that. Wow. And look, we can carry cargo in here. Look at this. We have a ramp so we can put cargo in here. We can do passengers, anything. Oh my goodness. And look at our cockpit. Our 707-like cockpit. Look at this, guys. Look at the modernization this airplane has. Oh my goodness gracious. Hang on, you guys. Give the G-Boss 1 sec. Hang on, guys. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Look at this modern turboprop, like we saw with the Antonov and everything. Look at this. Look at this. What we saw with the Antonov and everything. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Modern turboprop of its time. Look. Watch this. Watch this. Here it goes. Look at this, guys. Wow. Look how far we've come. We got the jets, we got the turboprops now. Ah, we're there, guys. We're there. Isn't that cool? And look, watch this plane, guys. Watch this airplane. Watch it. Here we go, guys. Look. Ooh, we're up already. Look at that. We're up. Gear going up. Look at that, guys. Look at this. You're like, G-Boss, whoa, we saw this in the World Tour. Yeah. Well, you didn't see this livery. You saw a different livery. But my goodness gracious, guys, look how far we've come. And now you're saying, G-Boss, you didn't tell us on the World Tour. Why is the wing square shaped? Why is it rectangular shape and not like the square, the normal mono? Well, that's because that's because it's an early what they call short takeoff and landing aircraft. That's what it says right here. STOL, short takeoff and landing demonstrator. You see this wing? This is a shorter wing for short takeoff and landings. And you're saying, G-Boss, G-Boss, short wing, a short mono wing for this little turboprop airliner? Yeah, well, it doesn't really need a giant wing like the 707 or the Russian bomber, or the big Lockheed plane. It just needed a small wing to get into the air, to show that it could take off from small places and anywhere else. You see? But look at the technological. They're saying, G-Boss, did the C-130 come out of this? Yes, it did. The C-130 Eskimos. This is how the C-130. This was developed from the C-130, and the C-130 was developed from it as well. Yep. Look at this, guys. Isn't this cool? Look at this. And look at this. We're agile. We're not agile like the little biplanes, but look, we can go left, we can go right, up, down, and look at our modern cockpit. The cockpit is cool. They saying, G-Boss, does this plane have like military version? Yes, there was the military version in France. This was one of the French planes produced by McDonnell Douglas. Well, it was basically, how do you say it? It was built in France, and let's just say, for instance, that this plane was McDonnell Douglas saw the plane and they fell in love with it. And they were like, we can make our own. And the people at Breguet were like, yeah, you guys can have it. You guys can make your own version, and they did. But this airplane never went into passenger service. This was just a demonstrator. So, sadly, we never got them. But in France, the French Army, the French Air Force got these. They're the French version of this. So you could say it went into military service, not civilian service. So, sad but true statement. Yep. But look at this, guys. Look at the innovation we got here. Wow. Short takeoff and landing capabilities. And you're like, gee, boss, that's like the biplane. Well, not really. Well, yes, the biplane is a short takeoff and landing plane. So you're saying, you're like, gee, boss, well, it's not a biplane or a rigid aeroplane, no, but still, it's got this short takeoff and landing, and you're like, what is it, like the helicopter? Well, sort of, but not really. It doesn't pop into the air like the helicopter did. All right, guys, here we come. Look at the advantage we have here. Look. You're like, oof, that's a hard landing, soft landing. Pretend it's a soft landing. But look at the innovation we got here with this guy. Look at the innovation we got here. Short takeoff and landing turboprop airliner. Experimental of its type. An early experimental plane. But look at that. We got our jet-like look. Isn't that cool? We got our jet-like look. I'm so happy. Look at this. Look at this. Now you're saying, G-Boss, is there more? Yep, there's a couple more. And you're like, wow. You're going to be like, G-Boss, this is another long series type thing. Well, of course, it is. It is. You're like, G-Boss, this is a lot. This is a lot like the 1941 video. Well, it is, guys. There's a lot to see here. There's a lot to see here. Ah, guys, I'm enjoying this series with you. This is beautiful. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. This is great. Ba ba ba. This is so cool. Wow. Wow, guys, look at this turboprop. Look how far we've come. Look how far we've come, guys. Look how far we've come since the little Blario and the little 14 Biz and the Curtiss biplane. Oh, there we go, guys. I got it. Oh, almost. There we go. All right, guys. You're saying G-Boss is our next airplane, another jet or turboprop. Well, you're gonna find out in just a minute. I can't wait. I can't wait. You're gonna love it, guys. You're gonna love it. All right, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on, you guys. Hang on. Hang on. We're getting there. But that's back. We're getting, nope, we're not doing that. All right, guys. Hang on. Hang on. Now, where was it? It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's a coming, guys. It's a coming. Give me a minute. Was this it? 19. Well, we're getting close. We're getting close. Hang on, guys. Can't wait. I can't wait. This is it. This is it. All right, guys. Here we go. Here we go. This is it, guys. You ready for our next big turboprop? Yeah, you are. Oh. Oops. Wrong one. It's coming, guys. Give it a minute to load. Give it a minute. All right, guys. Ta-da! And you're like, gee, boss, we saw that in the series, too. Yep, guys. You know what this is. The Tu-114. That big Russian turboprop of the late 50s. Look at this, guys. Look at this. We got our jet-like 707 shape back. Oh, my goodness gracious. This guy's faster, stronger, and go higher. And, man, it's beautiful. And look at this, flaps. Flaps, guys, flaps. We got flaps. And the cockpit. Look at the cockpit, guys. Whoa! Look at this cockpit, guys, of this big plane. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. This is 1957, 1958. You're like, gee, boss, again? No, guys. 1957, 1958. Yes, we went back just one year, but we're still late 1957, early 58. Look at this, guys. Big turboprop airplane. Big turboprop. And it's a counter rotating airplane. Turboprop. You like counter rotating turboprop? Yeah. That's two airplanes. That's two propellers on one shaft. On a double shaft. One shaft goes this way, the other one goes this way. It keeps the airplane in flight. You'll see what I mean. And look at this. You've seen this guy already on the World Tour, but I'm using it because we're doing the evolution. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Wow. Big swept wing turboprop plane. Wow. G-Boss. Wow. We've seen this guy, but we love to see him again. We haven't seen him since the World Tour. Yep. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Beautiful. Hey, G-Boss, you're going to say you're going to run the runway. Well, not really. Not really. If I do, it's all right. Remember, this is just demonstration, you guys. This is just demonstration. If we run the runway, it's only a demonstration. See? We're up. See? See? We missed all the houses. See? We're up. Ta-da. Look at this, guys. See? Look at that. Wow. Look at this big turboprop. This big jet-esque turboprop. Wow. Look at this, guys. And watch the landing gear. Tricycle landing gear. Look at this going up. Wow. And you're saying, G-Boss, look at that. It's got the engine gear. Yep. Just like the 707. You see that, guys? You see that, guys? See how, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look how technological we come. Look at the inside of this thing. Look at this, guys. You're saying, G-Boss, what's that sound? Oh, that's just the little thing there. Don't worry, don't worry. Let me put the flaps up so that way it doesn't. I think that's what it is. That's the flap warning. It's telling me, put the flaps up, G-Boss. Put the flap. The Tupolev is saying, put my flaps up, G-Boss. I don't want my flap warning going, I know. There we go. Look at that. Look how big we are in this cockpit. We can carry passengers. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Wow. Wow. Look at this. Look at this big lumbering aircraft. Look at this. We're larger now. We're huge. We're ginormous. We're tall. We can carry a lot more people than the Blario and the little Curtiss plane. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. How technology has come far. You're like, G-Boss, you said 1958. Yeah, this is 57, 58. Remember, we're still in 58 territory, guys. This was late 57, early 58. Remember that. So we're in. I'm trying not to skip, but it's hard. But we're right now. We're in 57-58 territory. That's what we're in now. We're in 57-58 territory. Now I'm trying to find. Now I'm trying to watch the airport over there because it's fading away like it did with the 707. Hang on, guys. We'll get back. We'll get back to the airport. But look at the technological. Look how much technological this guy is. Look at this. Large aircraft, big turboprop, counter-rotating propellers, faster, stronger, higher, bigger, taller. Look at this, guys. Now you're saying, gee, boss, you didn't tell us. Was there a military version of the Tu-114? Yep, the Tu-126. And and you also know its counterpart, the Tu-95 Bear. That's right. You're saying the Bear? The scary Russian bear plane is made out of this? Yep, that's what it was made out of. This guy. You can thank this guy for what the Russians have in their arsenal. Yep, that's what it was. Developed from this guy. You're like, gee, boss, whoa. Gee, boss, wow. Yep, that's what they based it on. This guy, the airliner, this guy was technological for his time. So the people of Tupolev were like, yeah, we can make a bomber version of this. We have our passenger version. Well, we can make the bomber version. So that's what they did. Wow, G-Boss, that's great. Yep. But at the same time, it's scary. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? But look, but you're saying, G-Boss, do you have it? No, I don't. I do have an early radar version of this guy, but not it's a radar plane, but I'm not going to show it because it's the same plane. And you're like, aw, and you're like, it's all right. I'm like, it's okay. It's all right, guys. You're like, gee, boss, you're going to go on that tiny runway? You can't. Well, I can. I can try. We're going to go on the tiny runway, guys. We're not going on the main runway. Uh-oh. The G crew's like, no, not the tiny runway. Well, we came out a little too far, guys. We came out a little too far. So we're going to try the baby runway, all right? We'll try the baby runway. Right, this isn't Pompano, is it? Nope, this isn't Pompano. Nope, this isn't Pompano. Where's Pompano? Where is the Pompano of the airport? Maple, please. Pompano, where are? There's Pompano, right back there. We got to go turn around. That's Fort Lauderdale Executive. We're heading to. Nope. We want to go to Pompano. There's Pompano right there. There's our airport. But look at this, guys. And the Jeep was like, gee, boss, land at the executive airport like you go watch. Where you go watch the planes. Nah, I'm doing this from Pompano Airport, guys. This is the Pompano Airport. That's another airport, but I haven't spotted there because of reasons. Because I don't go there much. I used to go there, but not much. And you're like, why? Well, that's because. All right, guys, here we go. We're heading back to our little airport here, to our little Pompano Beach airport, with this big turboprop. You're like, gee, boss, oh no, watch out. That's all right, guys. If we have to fly around, we fly around twice. No big deal. Remember, large turning radius with this guy. Remember that. This guy has a large turning radius. Remember that. You can't slow down. You gotta do what the plane wants. And you're like, gee, boss, so we're gonna get to our next 1950 plane before the early 60? Yes. Yes, we are. We have a few more we have like 2 more 1950 plane, and then we're gonna get into early 60, and you'll be like, yeah. There's Pompano, guys. There's our airport. We gotta turn around because this plane is big. Like I said, big plane. We gotta turn around so we can land on the runway. We're not gonna land in the middle of the scenery there. And you're like, gee, boss, it's okay. It's your series. I know, but we gotta get the landing just right on the series. I can't show that, I can't show a bad landing on it, you know? Yeah, we know. All right, guys, here we go. You're like, gee, boss, this is the longest 1950 plane you've shown. Yeah, well, that's because it's a big airplane, and look at the advantage. And it's got a tail wheel, guys. You're like, a tail wheel? Yep, this is to stable it on the runway. If it dives, if it doesn't get off the runway, that tail wheel catches it and it keeps it aloft. Wow. Yep. Wow, guys. Wow, guys. Yep. Alright, guys, we're heading back to Pompano into our next airliner of the 1950s. And then we'll head into the early 60s, and then part 4 will be the mid 60s to the early 70s. And you're like, yeah. Yep. That's right, guys. That's right. We're getting close to the modern. We're getting close to the more modern. We're getting close. We got the more modern jet plane, more modern turboprops now. We're going in. We're going in. We got it. We came from 1906 to the late 50s, early 60s. Look at this, guys. Look how far we've come. And you're like, gee, boss, you're not using the flap? No, I'm not. I know you guys are like, use the flap. Well, it's hard, guys. It's hard with this guy because he's so huge. But I'm gonna do it anyway. You guys are right. The flaps will help, so that way we don't run the runway. You're right. All right, guys. The G-Boss is gonna go on this runway, like we always take off from when we're doing the series. You're like, can you make it, G-Boss? Of course I can. But look how technological this plane is. It's big, ginormous, huge. It's a jet-like shape. It is a jet shape, but it's a turboprop. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Wow, look at this. We're coming in. Look at this. We're coming in on Pompano Airport. Look at this, guys. Look at this. You're like, gee, boss, pull up. Pull up. Guys, it's only the series. It's not the world tour. Or when we do the live stream, it's just the series. If the G-Boss bounces, the G-Boss doesn't land the runway, it's okay. Remember, this is just the series. It's not the live stream. Remember that. Now I know we're gonna go off the runway a little bit, but that's all right. Remember what I said. Lumbering aircraft here. Giant airplane here. Remember that. Giant airplane. You can't stop on a dime. Remember that. You're like, gee, boss, you ran the runway with the big turboprop. I know. It's all right, guys. We digress. We move on. We move on. I'm turning around toward the airport. You see, this is just demonstrating the airplanes through the years. Don't worry. Look at this big guy. You're like, gee, boss, this is the longest we've had this 1950s plane on camera. Well, that's because it's a big plane, and there's a lot of history about it. It's huge. All right, guys, now we're getting into our next jet plane. You're like, jet plane or turboprop, G-Boss? Jet plane, guys. We're gonna get jet plane next. Promise. Promise. Jet plane. Next is another jet plane. Whee! Here we go, guys. We're heading back to the runway. Yay! Says the G crew. We're back at Pompano Airport. Yay! Where G-Boss doesn't spot planes. Well, I'm gonna spot there again. I will. Alright, guys, let's get lined up on the runway. Nice and neat. There we go. Alright, guys, well, there's our big turboprop. And now we're heading back to jets. Yay, jets, G-Boss. Yay! Alright, guys, you ready? You ready? Ready? Alright, guys, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Here we go. 1952. All right, guys, this is going to be great. Our next jet plane. And then we're going to see some small planes, and then that'll be it for the fourth part. That's 1978. Okay, that's way off. This is 1972 as well. All right, guys. Where's this guy? This doesn't say. Wait. Oh, 1957. All right, guys. We're actually going to go back to airline, to turboprop. Turboprop, G-Boss? No! You promised. Yes, I know, guys, but we're going to get this one. You're going to love this design. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is a smaller plane. You're going to love it. Ta-da! This is the Pagadio P1. This is the Pagadio P1, not the P180, guys. This is the Pagadio P08 from 1958. This is a small little airliner back then. This is another turboprop, medium to short haul turboprop. And yes, we have flaps. And you're like, gee, boss, you said jet. Yes, guys, we'll get back to jet in a minute. I just wanted to show this guy. Remember, I got a lot of late 1950s planes that I'm showing off. But look at this. This is the Pagadio P08 from 1958, 57, 58. You're like, gee, boss, again. Well, sorry, guys, but I have to. We got, see, it says Pagadio right here. There it is, right there. Pagadio, right there. 160, this is it. This is Alitalia. This is an Alitalia jet. Alitalia turboprop. Now watch this, guys. Look at this. We're a pusher design. We're a turboprop pusher. You're like, gee, boss, what do you mean pusher? Well, that means the engines are facing backward, not forward. So the plane, so you're saying, gee, boss, can the plane fly backward? No, it flies forward. See this? The plane is back, engines are backward for more aerodynamic design. And you see we're up already. Look at this. Whoa, look at this guy. Wow, look at this guy. This guy's cool. Look at this. Woo! This guy's a little turboprop. I like this. Look at this. Short, and look, we got our wing tanks. We got our little fuel tanks on the wings. Ah, this is great, guys. Look at this. You're going, gee, boss, we went from big, small, big, small. I know, guys, but I got to show them all. We got to show them all. We're going to end of 1960. Yep. All right, guys, look at this. You're like, gee, boss, that's cool. That's a cool little turboprop, even though you said jet next. Well, that's all right, guys. We digress and move on. But look at this. This is a cool little turboprop from 1958. It's 57-ish. Look at this. Wow. Can I do a barrel roll? No. Well, probably. Yes. Stall. That's all right, guys. That's all right. That's all right, guys. That's all right, guys. Woo. That's all right, guys. Gee, boss, you crashed. Shh. Guys, just for a little bit. Just for a little bit because I wanted to try something, all right? That's all right, guys. We digress and move on. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Whee! All right. This guy's having too much fun. This little Italian plane's having too much fun. Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, where's the airport? There's the airport back there. Look at the innovation of this guy. Guys, we got like a gull wing. And he's saying gull. Yeah, like a W V shape sort of wing. That's, some airplanes have gull wings, like a W shape. And it makes the airplane cool. Hang on, guys. This guy likes to stall. You're like, gee, boss, oh no, don't crash again. Nope, don't worry. But don't worry, we're not going to crash. I got to put the engines down so that way I can maneuver this guy. This guy's very twitchy in the air. Look at this. See what I mean about the pusher propellers? This guy's very tricky to land. You're like, gee, boss, oh no. Well, but if we put the flaps down, that should help us. Yeah, put the flaps down, G boss. Don't. That's why you're going up and down. Well, yes, that's right. Mm-hmm. That's why you're stalling, G boss, because you don't have the flaps down. That's right, guys. I don't. But look at the technological of this guy. We're a pusher propeller. We're like the Aero Commander, but we got the propellers in the back, not the front. And we're like the little MD-80 188. Look at that. We're sort of like a short version of that. But we're a pusher propeller. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. Wow. And we're heading back to the G-Boss, the guys, the G-Crew's like, that was a quick. You crashed it a little bit, but that's all right, guys. We digress and move on. We digress and move on. But I just wanted to show you this guy because this guy's part of the 1950s as well. Now we're heading back to jets, and you're saying, G-Boss, it better be jet. Not, but we're going to show it one more big turboprop after the jet. Don't worry. But let's go get the jet so you guys can see it. And you'll be like, yay! And then we're going to see some small airplanes. And you're like, oh, no. Well, there's still some small planes of the day, guys. There's still some small aircraft of the time. Whoop. Boing. That was this weird landing. Boing, boing. What can you do? We made it. But look at this, guys. A pusher plane instead of the airplane with the propellers in the front. Isn't that cool? A pusher airplane. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Wow, look at the technological design. It's got the Aero Commander shape. It's got this new gull-shaped wing, a V-like wing to keep it aloft. It's got the pusher propellers to keep it. It's got more modern turboprops on the back. Look at that. Ah, that's awesome, guys. I love this. Look at this. Woo! Now, you're saying jet, G-Boss. Yes, jet. We're going to get to a jet. Don't worry. Woohoo! We're getting to a jet, guys. Don't worry. We're getting to a jet. But isn't this guy cool, guys? A modern turboprop. It's a pusher propeller. It's not... But you're saying, G-Boss, the other 1900s planes, some of the 14 Biz was a pusher propeller. Well, that was an early pusher propeller. Guys, that was an early pusher propeller. It paved the way for this guy. That's why. It paved the way for all pusher turboprops and other planes of the day. That's why, guys. Alright, let's get this guy looked up. Alright, guys, now you're saying jet time, G-Boss. Yes, hang on. Hang on, guys, hang on. Alright, guys, here we go. Our next jet plane. And the G-Crew's like, it better be a jet plane, G-Boss. It's gonna be a jet plane. You ready, guys? You ready? Jet plane time. All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. In the next series. All right, guys, hang on. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Hang on. Hang on, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. You're like, hurry, G-Boss, hurry. We'll get there, guys. Don't worry. We're getting there. We're gonna go to actually. All right, guys. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm getting it. All right, guys. Hang on. Hang on. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Hang on. Nope. When did this guy come out? That's going to be in the later series. Hang on, guys. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. When did this guy come out? That's going to be in the later series. Okay. Hang on, guys. I'm getting it. You know what? We can move to 1960 now. To 1960 now. We can do that. We can move now. All right, guys. It's 1958. We're moving up to 1960 now. All right, guys. Now we're moving to 1960. Now, I know I said there was going to be a jetliner, but I have to show this first. Oh, I didn't put the... Hang on, guys. Hang on. Gotta go down to the letter S. EQRS. 1960s. Guys, I gotta show this airplane. All right? We're gonna be this is another propeller plane. You're like, gee, boss, you promised jet. I know, but now we're skipping to 1960. We're going to head to 1960. All right, guys, hang on. Here we go. You're like, gee, boss, oh no, another 1930 plane. Well, this is 1960. This is the Soko J-21 propeller plane. It's a little trainer plane. But look at this, guys. Look at this. We got flaps, and you're like, gee, boss, you promised jetliner. Yeah, well, we're in 1960 now. There's going to be more jets, but I got to show some propeller planes and some little military airplanes. Now, watch this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Here's our modern cockpit, just like some of the others. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look how wonderful this is, and look at this. I know what you're saying, gee, boss, you said jet. Well, I'm out of 1950s jets, and we're heading into the early 60s. Now, look at this guy. This guy just popped up. This is 1960, guys. We skipped 1959. We're going to 1960, guys. Look at this. Wow. Look at this little plane. Look at this guy. Wow. This guy just popped into the air. And you're like, gee, boss, but no landing gear, no retractable gear. Well, as I said, guys, back in 1940s, not many planes had retractable gear. Not every single one of them had retractable gear. But look at this design. This is a modern propeller plane design of the early 1960s. Look at this. This is an early 1960s design. Look at this. This is awesome. This is awesome, guys. This is an early 1960s plane. It's a propeller plane, another turboprop, but I know it's not an airliner, but we are going to get to an airliner, a jetliner. I promise next is our jetliner. And then we're going to do one more plane, and then we're going to head, and then part 5 is going to be the late 60s to the early 70s. So get ready for that, guys. This is as I said, this is from 1955 or you say 1955 to the 1962. Let's do that. 1955 to 62. So here we are in 1960 with our little Soko trainer plane. And look, we can do a little barrel roll. Whee! We're not crashing like the little 1958 jet turboprop plane. Look at this, guys. Look. Wow, this guy's big. This guy's not big, but he's powerful. He's not a jet, but he's got the jet-like shape. But still, we digress, we move on. But look at this, guys. Another barrel roll for the G Crew before we land. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Isn't this cool, guys? Wow, look at this. Wow, this is great. Early 1960s turboprop. Look at this, guys. Wow. And you know what? Can we make it a third barrel roll before we land? Yes, we can. Look at that. Before we land, 3 barrel rolls with this guy. Now look at this guy. This is a little military trainer. He's a little military trainer. He's saying, gee, boss, that was a quick little thing there. Well, this guy's just a little trainer, guys. There's nothing really much to say about him. You know, the trainers. There's nothing much to say about the trainers. But this guy also has a civilian version. There's also civilian versions of this guy, not just little military trainers. I think this is an air show kind of plane. This is like an air show livery back then and today. So this is a general aviation plane, but it's a trainer. But you can see that. Even though it's a tail dragger, you're like, oh, gee, boss, we got the tail wheel again. But as I said, guys, we digress. We move on. You see? Look at this. Boink. 1960 here. Look at this. Wow. Look at this, guys. 1960. Isn't this cute? Little cute plane? Look at this, guys. Wow. Woo, look at this. Wow. Wow, look at this, guys. Wow. Look how far we've come since the early 50s. Look at this. Look how far we've come. You're like, gee, boss, oh, it's like the 1930s, 40s plane again. Well, as I said, some 1930s, 40s designs were still around at the time. Remember that. They never went away, even today. They never went away. So this guy may look like a 1940s, 30s plane, but he's not. He's 1960. He's basically the 60s version of the 1940 version. Yes. All right, G-Boss. You're saying, okay, G-Boss, now can we get to the big jets? The big jet of the 1960? Yes. Yes, we can. I just wanted to show this little trainer. We're going to see other little trainers. And you're like, oh, well, we got to, guys. I got to show everything. I got to show little things here and there. But look at this, guys. A cute little 1960s turboprop trainer / general aviation plane. Not an airliner, but an early little general aviation plane. Look at this. All right, guys. But there's the little Soko J21. There it is. But now we're getting into the jets again. All right. I know the Jeep was like, wow, the Soko was pretty quick. That was quick. Well, it's another little turboprop trainer. Nothing much to say about the trainers. But this is a more modern plane of early 1960. Here we go. Now let's get to the jetliners like you guys have been waiting for. All right. Let me see what's next. All right, guys, you're ready? You're ready? They're like, yeah, we're ready. We're ready. All right, guys, hang on. Just let me see. This is going to be in the later series in part 5. All right. This guy's from the 1980s. You know, I never showed this guy. Well, this guy's 1957 to 19. All right, guys. The G-Boss is gonna do. You're like G-Boss again. Well, we got one. We're going back to 1950 for one more plane. You're like G-Boss, no. We got to, guys. One more, and then we're going to the jet. Oh, come on now. Here it is, guys. This is the Aleutian IL-18 turboprop. You're saying, G-Boss, we went back again. Well, I forgot about this guy, all right? Excuse the G-Boss. Excuse the G-Boss for forgetting this guy. But this is still 1958, 1959, 60. Remember, guys, we're still in that territory. But look at this guy. Big turboprop, like the Tupolev plane. Look at that. Big turboprop, 4-engine turboprop. Look at this, guys. Wow. And look at the cockpit. We got our jet cockpit. We got our yoke. We got everything. Passenger cabin, safety, everything. Now look at this, guys. Now you're saying, G-Boss, you said the jet. I know, but I just skipped over this guy by mistake, guys. But let's say this is 1960, all right? This guy went into the 1960s. So let's pretend this guy 1960, all right, guys? Okay, G-Boss, we pretend. All right, thank you, guys. But look at this guy, the Aleutian IL-18, 1960s, 50s. Look at this guy, big turboprop, just like the Tupolev, just like its Tupolev brother. Big, but not as big as the Tupolev, but it's big enough to carry the passengers. Look at this. It gets up all by itself on this tiny, the Pompano runway. Look at this, guys. You're like, G-Boss, oh my goodness gracious, you've been getting a lot of giant planes off the Pompano, Florida airport runway. Yeah, I have, because this is Flight Simulator, that's why. But look at the gear, guys. Look at this. Big gear on this guy. We're a straight wing monoplane like the Antonov, but doesn't mean we're powerful, just as powerful. But look at this, guys. Huge, another huge turboprop from the late 50s, early 60s. Look at this guy. Big turboprop. Big turboprop, isn't this? And the G crew's like, but G-Boss, you said the jet. We're gonna get to the jet because the next evolution of the jet here, of the Russian plane jet, even though it was early, but you're gonna see the first Russian passenger jet. What you saw was the Badger, the Tu-16 was one of the first bombers. But you'll see one of the first Russian passenger jets. But look at this guy. We got our jet-like shape. We got our jet-like tail. We don't have a tail wheel. Traffic landing. Big turboprop engines. Big Kazetnov. Any Russian people are watching, I'm sorry. I know how to pronounce your engine types. Don't worry. Kazetnov, it's hard. But that's what the Russian turboprops are, guys. Kazetnov. You can guys look those up. But they are the Russian turboprops. But this is a big airliner. This guy, there's some of these that are still around. And you say, really, G-Boss? Yeah, military versions. The military version is still around, yep, but not the passenger version. The passenger version is in retirement, and the military one is still around, but still, the military one was based from the passenger design. So look at that. You see, we see, and you're probably saying, G-Boss, we know an American turboprop that looks like that. Yes, G-Boss, just G-Crew member guy, person. You're saying, G-Boss, is it that Lockheed turboprop? The Lockheed turboprop? Yes, guys, the Lockheed Electra. And you're gonna say, G-Boss, do you have it? No, I don't. I gotta get it for you. I will. But yes, the IL-18 is the Lockheed Electra's Russian cousin, because it's the exact copy of it. It's the Russian version of the Electra. It's their version of the Electra. So G-Boss, does that mean the Tu-114 is the Russian version of the 707? Yes, it is the turboprop version of the 707, but yes, it is their version of the 707. Yes, it is. It's their version of the 707. And yes, the IL-18 is their version of the Lockheed Electra. And the Antonov AN-12 is their version of the C-130. So you can see that the Russian planes look identical to their Western counterparts somewhat. So you can see that. You can see it's got the Lockheed Electra shape, the IL-18 from the back. From the front, you're saying, oh, it's just a Russian plane. Yeah, but it's got the Electra. Let me do it quick. It's got the Electra nose. There it goes. All right, so let's dive down on the runway. You're like, G-Boss, no, don't dive on the runway. Well, I got to, guys. This is a big plane. You're like, G-Boss, watch out. Boing. That's all right. We digress. We move on. Remember what I said, guys? Large airplane, large turning radius with these. Yes, G-Boss, we remember. Large turning radius with these big turboprops and jets back at the time. That's right, guys. Large. They were large. You gotta remember that. Large turning radius even today. Large turning radius even today. But this is a big turboprop. Now you're saying, G-Boss, why are you showing all the little Russian plane or the big Russian turboprops and jets? Well, that's because the G-Boss hasn't downloaded a lot of the US 50s and 60s planes yet. But don't worry. You saw the 707, but you're going to see more American planes back in the late. You're going to see it in part 5 in the late 60s, early 70s. That's when we get to the larger jets and the even larger turboprops than the Aleutian here and you know what you guys know what I'm talking about. We're getting into the more larger. Now you're saying, G-Boss, watch the little beach plane there on the runway. I am. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let the little beach plane go so we can line up after he takes off, so we can get to our jet. Let's do a little airplane spotting on the series. Let's watch this little beach plane on the series, and then we'll get to our next plane, the jet. Get back to 1960. There he goes, guys. Watch him. There he goes. And now we get to line up on the runway, so we can finish the series. There he goes, guys. There he goes. You're like, G-Boss, wow, this is a cool. Part 5 is even a lot cooler than Part 4. Well, that's because we're in the early jet and turboprop era, guys. That's why it's a lot cooler. It's a lot cooler than Part 4 and Part 3 and Part 2 and Part 1. And there he goes, guys. He's up already. All right, now it's time for that jet I was promising you. You better promise, G-Boss. And this is a long, long series, part 4, like part 3. Well, sorry guys. There's a lot of planes here, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty to part 4. Part 5 will be coming up. Will be coming up short. Will be coming up soon. Well, not tonight. Another night. All right, 1962. All right, just let me see what else we got here. All right, we saw that one. 1963. Okay, so we're getting there. And that'll be, so we're gonna, as I said, we're gonna do 1962. But we might squeeze this guy in. All right, guys, hang on. I'm getting it. This guy's gonna be in. Oh, this is what, 78. Yeah, I thought this. Oh, this says 1960. All right, guys. You guys ready? Yeah, we're ready, G-Boss. You better be ready. You better be ready. $1963. Hang on, guys. I'm getting it. All right, guys. When was this guy created again? $1955. Oh my God, guys! You guys are gonna be mad at the G-Boss. You're gonna like, oh no, not again. Yes, not again, guys. We're going back to 1955. Oh no! Just one more, guys. One more. G-Boss, no! We got to, guys. What is this? Look at this, guys. G-Boss, no! No more little propeller planes. Well, guys, this is the last little propeller plane before we get to our jet, promise. This is the CAC, the CAC or the COC CA-25 Windjiel. This is 1955 to 1960 to 1994. Look at this, guys. Look at this. G-Boss, no more. Guys, come on. We got to show it. I got to show it. You forgot the Aleutian. You forgot this guy. That's all right, but look at the flaps. Look at the flaps, guys. G-Boss, why? Because I said so. But here's the cockpit, guys. Wow, look, we got windshield wipers, guys, on this little turboprop plane. Look, we got windshield wipers, guys. Wow, look at this. Look at this. You're like, G-Boss, no more. Well, this is the last one. Oh, look at this. We can slide the door open. We can slide this open if you want. All right, guys, this is the last one, and then we'll get into the jet, promise. You better promise, G-Boss. But this is the CAC CA-25 Windjiel from Australia. This is a little Australian plane, guys. This is notice the little kangaroo marking, the little Royal Australian Air Force kangaroo marking. This is Australia plane. Look at this little Australian little warbird. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Isn't this cool? You're like, yeah, G-Boss, yeah, but we want the jet. We're going to get the jet. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Promise. We're going to go back and get it. 1962. And we'll go to 63 a little bit, and then we'll go to 64 from there. All right, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Barrel roll for the G Crew, so you can be happy. We're going to do a double barrel roll for the G Crew. Yay! All right, gotta pull up. Whee! And we can go straight up. Can we do a backflip? No, I don't want to do a backflip. Yay! Look at this, guys. Look at this little trainer back then. Look at this, guys. You're like, oh, gee, boss. You're like doing the little yawn thing with your you're doing the little yawn symbol with your hand. You're going, oh, enough, gee, boss. The jet. We'll get to the jet. Don't worry, guys. We got two more jets, and then part 4 will be done, and then part 5 will come out later. Don't worry. But look at this little little Australian warbird for a little bit. Look at how much agile it is. Look at this. Look how far we've come since 1906, guys. Look at this. Look at this little guy. Isn't he cute and cuddly? Yeah, cute and cuddly. Well, look at this, guys. We got a little rotary beacon. Got a little rotary beacon in on this guy. Isn't that cute? Aw. And the G Crew is putting their hand to their mouth, yawning again, going, oh. They're like, G-Boss, no more. Yes, guys. But look at this. I had to show this guy off. Okay, G-Boss, but now the jet. Yes, the jet. Now we're heading into 1962, guys. Yay! Finally! Yep, finally. Yep, finally. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Yay, here we go. Yay, jet time again. No more propeller plane. Promise, guys, promise. All right, here we go. Landing this little Australian plane. Whee! Here we go, guys. We're down. Yeah, but look at the intervention. Look at the innovation of this guy since the Blario and the other 1900s. Look at the innovation. We got flaps on this guy. We got lights. We got rotary beacons. Then those 1900s planes and the little Curtiss plane didn't have. The Curtiss plane had just the lighted interior. Remember that, guys? Just the lighted interior. Remember that? So this is a far step. This is a far leap in technology. All right, guys. Now we're gonna go get the jet. Yay! I promised you we're gonna go get the jet now. Yay! Jet time! Alright, guys, let's get lined up on the runway for our jet plane. Yay! No more propeller plane till part 5. Yep, that's right, guys. Part 5 we'll have more turboprop planes and a few little trainers. No! Well, we got to, guys. We got to. Alright, say goodbye to the little Australian plane. Bye! Alright, now let's get the jet. You guys ready? Ready! Why is the propeller plane still... There it goes. Alright, here we go. Did I miss anybody? No, I didn't. Thank goodness. This is gonna be... Yeah, this is gonna be one of the last planes we see, and then we're gonna go from there. We're gonna get the jet. We're gonna go get the jet. Alright, let me get the TU-204, 124 from 1962. Alright, guys, here's our next plane. Here's the jet you wanted. Yay! Here it is, guys. Yay! Jet plane! Guys, meet the Tupolev Tu-124. One of the early jets. One of the early Russian jets of the early 60s. Look at this, guys. And yes, look at the flaps. Gee, boss, that's weird. That's so cool. Look at that. Look at the flaps on that thing. Look at that. That's like a little Concorde there. Well, not really. It's jet. It's more jet-like, guys. All right, guys, you ready? Ready. All right, guys, it's winding up. Got to give it time to wind up. Here we go, guys. Yay, jet time. So this is the Tu-124. This is one of the early Russian jets. Look at this, guys. Look how modern this thing is. Look how modern it is. You're saying it looks like a 737. Well, no, it's not. But it's not a 737. But it looks like it, though. You're right, it does look like it, though, but it's not. Does this thing even fly? Come on, get up in the air.